Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. And welcome to Tuesday's edition of the DC Movie and TV Daily. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sit down, relax. We've got two subjects to talk about today. One's the term extensive reshoots and the lies being spread about Birds of Prey and the emancipation of one Harley Quinn. And the other one, which is our main headline today, is that Todd Phillips confirms that Joaquin Phoenix is the Joker and Robert Pattinson's the Batman will never ever meet. So should we get started? Right, yes. Basically, Todd Phillips has already told us what we already knew. I mean, I tried to come up with some theory, then realised the maths, the age gaps between Bruce Wayne and Joaquin Phoenix's the Joker just wouldn't cut it, would it? So that does not work. But let me assure you of something. There is a Batman. There's going to be a fully fledged Batman in the Black Label. We've discussed this before, haven't we, about this new DC universe being built, the Black Label, and how the Joker movie is just the beginning. No, Robert Pattinson isn't the Batman in the Black Label, but there is a Batman. Now, spoiler alert, why do you think they showed us the death of the Waynes in the Joker movie? Why do you think we saw Bruce Wayne in that film? Because there's going to be a Batman. Now, maybe he won't get his own movies, but he'll cameo in the other films, which is obviously part of the point. They're creating a universe here. And I think what they want to do is make sure that all the characters, because Elseworld characters are really, really exciting. And that's what the Joker is. That's what the Black Label is. It's very, very exciting. Because basically the potential for the Black Label movies is limitless. I mean, you think about this Joker movie and what it is. It has the kind of situation where it leaves you in a place where you actually have to make your own mind about the film. And I don't want to go any further than that, of course. And there's loads of theories going around out there, and I'm not going to confirm or deny any of them. But we do know for sure now, thanks to Todd Phillips, that Joaquin Phoenix is the Joker and Robert Pattinson's the Batman will never meet. Now, of course, that would have been fun, but it's not going to happen. But as I say, I personally believe that Robert Pattinson's the Batman is part of the DCEU. I don't think that Matt Reeves was lying about that. And I still think that he's a younger version of Ben Affleck's Batman. It's as simple as that. I think there's still a lot of connectivity going on here. I think that Walter Hamada has done a great job thus far, especially with the kind of Easter eggs and stuff for Man of Steel and Batman v Superman in Shazam. I think that proves what they want to do, and that it is all the same universe. And there may be some course correcting in the DCEU, but in fact, it's still the same universe, and they don't want to kind of make you forget. They don't want you to take a pill and make you forget about Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, because that would be stupid. Even if some people don't like it, it would be stupid. I think it made enough money and won enough friends, even back then when it was divisive. I think it would be stupid to say, let's just forget all of that. So I definitely think that Robert Pattinson's the Batman is Ben Affleck's the Batman in the past. And I even think that Ben Affleck will cameo in this movie as the older version of the Batman that we've already seen in BVS and Justice League and the Suicide Squad. He's already been in 3 films. Will he be in a 4th? I think Ben Affleck will be in the Batman. I've said this to you before, and I'll say it to you again. I genuinely believe that. All he did was go on a talk show and say, I'm not Batman, right? Well, I'm not Batman? Question? Who knows? Who knows, right? So am I deluded? Am I like the rest of the Snyder fans who are just deluded and can't accept that Ben Affleck's done? Maybe, but I also think the only way, really, Robert Pattinson's the Batman can be part of the DCEU is if he is a younger version to Batfleck. Now, of course, they could go down this route, which they did with Val Kilmer and George Clooney, which they just recast, and there was no explanation. But I think these people don't want to do that. It's so much more interesting to me, and I'm sure you as an audience, if Robert Pattinson is a younger version to Batfleck. I think that would be awesome. And I can kind of accept him being replaced a lot more like that, because Robert Pattinson's a great actor. This is a great piece of casting, and it's, I'm really, really excited about the Batman movie. So there you go. Unfortunately, no Joaquin Phoenix or Robert Pattinson meeting up as the Joker and the Batman. But hey, the Joker, we were told it was always a standalone movie, and this was the inception of this Black Label universe. But basically, you are going to get a fully fledged Batman in the Black Label universe, and that, my friends, is really, really exciting. Now, let's talk about the term extensive reshoots. Extensive reshoots. You hear that a lot. Now, what happens is, what's always happened in the film industry, there's always pickups. Pickups is when people go back to film some things that weren't shot. So, for example, when they did Superman the movie many, many moons ago, Christopher Reeve and Richard Donner stayed behind to do pickups. They had to do them. That's how it works. So what's happened is now there are rumours that Harley, I always get it wrong, don't I? Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn is having problems and is having extensive reshoots. This is a lie. So I'm going to set the record straight, because basically Warner Brothers can't be bothered to, because why should they? If they sat there correcting every rumour, they wouldn't have any time to make any films now, would they? So let's talk about this, right? So we know the director of John Wick basically was, and his company were employed to do the stunts and the stunt choreography for Birds of Prey, right? We know that. That was organised from the beginning. This wasn't a sudden thing like the press and the media and the sites were trying to imply. This was always the case. But the guy and his company were very busy and didn't have the time to do the stunt work while, they were filming on location. So the agreement was that once the film was finished, they'd go back when their schedule was free. They're a very popular company. They do great work. We've seen John Wick and the stunt choreography and how great it is. So, basically, Margot Robbie and her production company, Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema, were all happy to wait for him and his company to, when their schedule was freed up. And that's all it is. There are no extensive reshoots. Now, some people may be very suspicious that there's no trailer yet. Where are we now? We're in September. There's still a bit of time. We're definitely going to get a full trailer by the end of this year. There is no question about that. So be patient. It is going to happen. There are no extensive reshoots. And for your own good and for your own sanity, when you hear these sites and these journalists talking about extensive reshoots, look into it a little bit. Don't necessarily click onto their article, which is just going to be clickbait anyway, right? Now, fans since Justice League and Rogue One, really, if you think about it, ever since they hear the word reshoots, think there's trouble. Now, Rogue One actually ended up being a really good film, didn't it? But then you have the problems with Solo, a Star Wars story. Justice League is the big one. What happened to that film was absolutely disgusting, and I can't defend it. But at the end of the day, just because you hear reshoots, it doesn't mean a film's in trouble. And, Birds of Prey, the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, isn't in any trouble. This film is keeping its cast. This film is keeping its director. There are no big secret conspiracy theories. But the problem is now we have too much information. And you know what happens when you've got too much information? You get too much misinformation. And I want this channel to be the place that corrects bullshit. Especially because I'm a big DC fan, but I'm not a shill, as some people like to say. But I'm a person who doesn't like agendas, putting across a false narrative. And this happens a lot. I see it on the internet so much. There's people now talking about Aquaman and Shazam like they're part of the MCU. It's disgusting, and it's all part of the agenda. Now, basically, you have to ignore this, like I ignore all the nutters trying to say that the Joker movie is going to incite a serial killer or a mass shooting. You just have to ignore it, because these are just all people, quite clever people with agendas. But unfortunately, it's not going to work with DC films now, because we've gone way above that. We're being run by a very intelligent person, and that can't happen now. You can't destabilize these movies. So when you hear the term extensive reshoots, Think about it. Don't spit the dummy out. Don't start saying, oh, this film's going to be rubbish, right? At the end of the day, we had the same situation with Aquaman. Remember when James Wan? The thing is with James Wan, he was coming out correcting all the bullshit. He was going, no, we are not having extensive reshoots. We're having pickups. All films have pickups, right? And the thing is, when we were young, or people of my age, 46, but 46 years old, right? We never used to hear about it because we didn't have the machine, the engine that is the internet. It's too much. There's too much information. There's too much misinformation. And you've just got to use your common sense. So no extensive reshoots for Birds of Prey. It's going to be an awesome film. And everything I'm hearing about, I'm really, really excited. So what do you think about Joaquin Phoenix and Robert Pattinson's The Batman and the Joker not meeting up? Are you disappointed? I'm not disappointed. I can just imagine how awesome that will be. But look, the Joker is an awesome film. The Batman's going to be an awesome film. He will have his own Joker. As Todd Phillips said, the Joker as a character is a bit like Shakespeare, isn't it? Different people can play this character. So that's very, very exciting. And I can't wait for all of you to finally see this Joker movie because we are in very, very exciting times, fellow DC fans. There's so much going on with DC right now. It's just my excitement levels are sky high, and so should yours be because it really is a very exciting time to be a DC fan.